for was acquired by Lagardère. That was a business. So when Mike Bushell's name comes up, I've worked with Mike for 25 years.
Oh wow, okay.
We were acquired. So our business has been involved in a commercial capacity, either working with a team such as the Australian Commonwealth Games team or the event itself. With every games, well, Mike dates back to 1986, and SMAM commenced its involvement with the Commonwealth Games in the Auckland 1990 Commonwealth Games. I more directly, selling the Australian Commonwealth Games team, I moved over in the 90s. I then moved over to the UK in 2007 to grow our business over here, and then SMAM was acquired by Lagardère at the end of 2014. So we migrated and integrated our Olympic and major events business, which was essentially SMAM that centred on Olympics, Commonwealth Games and Olympic/Commonwealth sports, into the world of Lagardère as the Olympic and major events business unit. I've been involved in either directly or indirectly with the last 5 Commonwealth Games.
Wow, okay.
Starting our first real major project in terms of working directly for the event. The organising committee was the Manchester 2002 Commonwealth Games, when 5 of us went up to Manchester at Easter 2000 to basically in 3 days write a new commercial strategy for the Manchester Games. We were appointed to replace ING, and we had 18 months to deliver the sponsorship program for those games.
Wow, okay.
I then got off the plane after the day after the closing ceremony for Manchester and walked from the athlete parade in Melbourne to the organising committee with the CEO, and I was our project lead for the Melbourne 2006 Commonwealth Games. So I did that from start to finish from 2002 to 2006, where I was seconded inside the organising committee. After that, I moved over here, and as luck would have it, the games followed me, and they came to Glasgow. So I ended up being the project lead for the Glasgow Commonwealth Games as well, from 2010 to 2014. And since Glasgow, I now run or co-lead our global sales organisation, both our global partnerships team that spans across all our business units and sells everything. Okay. But I'm also our UK sales director, so I will have overall global revenue responsibility for the Birmingham Games.
Wow. Okay. And how big is the team that you work with across across both of those? Well,
we've got, as a global organisation, we've got about 480 people in the sales role.
Okay.
In the context of the Commonwealth Games, we'll have a much smaller team that's based in the UK that will primarily sell Birmingham. We'll leverage our global network, but based on history, we expect that 90% of the budget funding will originate out of the UK. So the Commonwealth Games, it's an interesting dynamic because it is positioned and needs to be positioned as an international event that brings together 71 nations. But because its geography is what I'll best describe as a historical coincidence, it doesn't align with corporate budgets and corporate decision making in the way that an Asian Games or a Pan American Games does. So what that means is that while there are exceptions in terms of corporations that may sign off on it or contribute at a global head office level, the vast majority of the marketing budget originates from within the host nation.
Right, I see. Okay. So by nature of that fact, does that mean that the host story versus the global story therefore has much more relevance to those people? So for example, with that 90%, if you could then give them a more global story brought together by some of this social change work that we're looking at, are they interested? Because actually some of those UK businesses will obviously also have businesses elsewhere.
Yeah.
Or do they then turn around and say, well, tell me what that means for the UK?
Yeah.
Obviously at this time, because that's what we're talking about with Birmingham.
Yeah. I think it's difficult to say yes or no. I think it's more. I think probably the better answer is, should it be our ambition in terms of, as we're looking to build multi-games partnerships where it makes sense. I think the more fundamental question in all this is, what we consistently get challenged with is, what's the role and place of the Commonwealth? And what's the role and the place of the Commonwealth Games in terms of relevance and purpose, which goes to that point, because, I'm probably, I think partly responsible for shaping, maybe without stealing it, some of Andrew's commentary, as I absolutely believe that in this context, unless we can clearly articulate a purpose beyond sport, our relevance to corporations in investing in the games is going to be severely challenged. So I'm a very, very, very much an advocate that we have to be able to articulate a compelling purpose which has an international or global dimension to it. But by definition, that has to be really well thought through so that it is authentic and it resonates in terms of corporations ultimately stepping back and going, I get it. It's not a superficial badging exercise. It's real and it's relevant. And therefore, as a corporation, if this helps position my business in a way where this is more than a big sporting circus coming to town, if I can layer that back to bring to life our own corporation's purpose in serving the communities that we operate in, whether that be the UK or whether that be international in markets they do business with, be that Commonwealth or not, there's something they can hang their hat on by way of part of not the business case, but something that further enhances the business case.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank goodness that what we're trying to achieve perfectly aligns with what you need and that the need that exists. And in terms of the answer now, today, when you get asked the role of the Commonwealth and the role of Commonwealth Games question, what do you and your team, how do you currently answer that?
Good question. And it's not an easy one to answer by definition, because we ultimately have to take creative license to interpret and apply that in a way that we think has some credibility to it, but ultimately resonates with our target audience, which isn't the CGF. It's the corporations that we pitch to. And so